it comes to making a responsible energy decision for your family and the planet, choose clean natural gas from Atmos Energy. Natural gas is safer and more reliable than other energy solutions and can reduce your home's carbon emissions by up to 45%. By using less total energy than other energy sources, natural gas lowers your impact on the environment. It's just another way that Atmos Energy makes your life better. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Hi, I'm Roger Cador. I'm here to tell you about Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa. You won't find them on billboards, but you'll find them in the courtroom where real lawyers are. You see, billboards do not solve cases. Real trial lawyers do. So if you're hurt and need a lawyer, call 225-223-6333.
Welcome to week 7 of the Roger Cador Show. Clarence Buggs along with the coach at the Shoppers Value in Baker, home for the next 2 weeks of the Roger Cador Show. Coach, let's start with Southern. Jaguars take care of arch rival Jackson State in a big way, 35-17 win for the 3rd win in a row. Seems like Coach Odom and company's got the team on a roll now.
They certainly have after starting off against those two high-level it's D1 school.
Right.
And they were able to come out of with a lot of bad injuries. Mm-hmm. So now that experience is paying off as they get into conference play.
Is there anything more satisfying than a win over an arch rival, the likes of a Jackson State, where we know there's no love lost between these two fan bases?
If they only could have shut them out. It would have been nice. You're right. I mean, Jackson is a hated rival just like Grambling.
Right.
And in some respect, even more.
Yeah. Some fans were worried about complacency because Jackson State was winless going into this game. But now, if you can't get up for the likes of the Jackson State, you really have no business wearing the blue and gold, do you?
Oh, you're right, because this is a long, deep-seated history of rivalry. Not just in football, but we're talking about football.
Right.
They want Jackson to go down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, the weather forced a delay in the scheduled kickoff time. When you've got a group of young men, they all get hyped up for the start of the game. You're taking on a rival like Jackson State, and then all of a sudden you find out right before kickoff, oh, wait a minute, got to put this thing on hold. From a coach's standpoint, how tough is it to manage that roller coaster of emotions that you go through for this?
And plus, they were on the road. That makes
Right.
it doubly tough. That's the biggest concern for coaching. Mm-hmm. How do you keep your team focused in a delay? Because we hadn't found any magical thing we can bottle up
Right.
for when there is something you never practice for.
Right.
You never prepare your kids for delays.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Grambling State a little early on in this segment. The scary thing this weekend was that Grambling State spanked Alcorn 41-14. Kind of puts a whole new ante for the Bayou Classic this year, doesn't it?
It certainly doesn't. Listen, Grambling will win it again, the conference, because they have the best players.
Right.
Unless something miraculous happens, they're odds-on favorite to do it because they're able to get those kids coming down from D1, and the coach have done a really good job at that.
You know, you talk about how time passes. When I was hosting Eddie Robinson's TV series for Grambling, Broderick Fobbs was the star running back for them.
Yeah.
Every now and then, you kind of run across these things that make you realize, oh, we're getting a little on up there, Coach.
Well, that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it always beats the alternative.
True.
That you don't know if someone is getting up there.
Right, true.
Yeah.
True. But when you look back through the history of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, the Gramblings, the Southerns, the Jackson States, realistically, as much as these two fan bases don't particularly care for one another, without one, there is no other, is there?
That's right. And people often ask me, what would be the benefit of a Southern leaving the SWAC? Mm-hmm. Well, I said it would be over a bunch of people's dead body if they're going to leave, because the history is so rich, and they need people there. They need the Southern fans. They need the schools like Grambling. They need Alcorn, Jackson State. They all have to be there to make this formula work.
Well, when we come back for segment 2 of the Roger Cador Show, we're going to talk a little Tiger football. Mid-season turnaround, surprising a whole lot of folks. That and more still to come in Week 7 of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
The biggest scratch-off game of the season is here. It's Saints Game On from the Louisiana Lottery. Your chance to win up to $100,000. Scratch the back for an extra game. Enter the second chance drawings for VIP suite experiences, a deluxe limo experience, a tunnel team experience, official autographed team merchandise, and the grand prize, a 2018 season ticket package. Play Saints Game On from the Louisiana Lottery for your chance to make this your winning season.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagined big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, one family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit Breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Welcome back to segment 2 of Week 7 of the Roger Cador Show, brought to you in part by the great folks over at Shoppers Value. Today we come to you from the Baker Main Street location at 280 Main Street in Baker. If you're anywhere in the neighborhood and you want outstanding prices, not to mention a great selection and customer service that is second to none, you need to make it a point. Come on over to Shoppers Value Foods, where they appreciate your service and they are integrally involved in the community. Proud sponsors of the Roger Cador Show. Coach, let's switch gears now. Talk a little LSU Tiger football. Mid-season, turnaround. I don't think a whole lot of people saw this. As great as the performance was against Ole Miss, being the classic guy that he is, Coach O wouldn't say anything about it. But from a coaching standpoint, what do you think that victory meant to Coach O?
Well, you know, they were talking about running the guy out of the city 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And I kept saying, give him a chance. I mean, this is his first year being a head coach full time. Give him a chance, and now he's turned it around. They won 3 big SEC games.
Yeah.
And 2 of them on the road.
Right.
And you got to give him some credit. Now, they're off this week, and the next one they got Alabama, which is a big game for them also.
Oh, without a doubt. Darius Geis ran like a man possessed, setting a new SEC all-time record for the number of 250-plus yard games in a career. With all the adversity that young man has been through in life, you can't help but feel great for him.
And you want to pull for him and want the best for him, because people give up, but he haven't given up.
Right.
You know, his mission is to try to help his mother and his little brother. I think I think a lot about that young man. And you know what? He stayed out of trouble, which is big.
Yes, without a doubt. Coach O credited last week some former Tigers with coming back and addressing this year's squad and getting these young men back on track. Does it ever amaze you, even after all these years, Coach, that we adults can tell these young people something over and over and over, never sinks in? But the minute one of their contemporaries says the very same thing that we've been preaching to them, it's literally like the light just pops on. Does it ever cease to amaze you?
Never. But, you know, I understood that. You know, and I used to say, and former players and my upperclassmen used to say, you know, they don't want to listen to all the things you got to say, Coach.
Right.
You know, let somebody else handle it. And I mean, that's really, and you can't be offended as a coach. You have to use that type of asset.
Right.
So you can help those kids to do the very best.
Any words for the LSU Tiger Nation about jumping off the bridge if a week and change from now Alabama ends up making them look bad? What do you tell the Tiger Nation about not jumping off the Horace Wilkinson / New Mississippi River Bridge?
If they want to jump, go, but it's to your advantage not to. Please don't jump. But we can't stop a guy going there in the middle of the night saying, I'm jumping.
Well, true. But if you're going to jump, if there's anything on the planet worth it, don't let it be a football game. There's a lot more important things in life than a football game, a win or a loss. Agree?
I agree. Just like that man who poisoned those 300-year-old trees in Auburn.
In Toomey's Corner.
Yeah. You can't do that kind of stuff over a football game.
Yeah.
The sun will rise in the east and set in the west, no matter what.
And we'll still have air to breathe and a job to get up and go to. It's not that serious. I know that's sacrilegious in some parts of South Louisiana, but at the end of the day, it's still just a game. Lots more to talk about on week 7 of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
It gets better.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
The biggest scratch-off game of the season is here. It's Saints Game On from the Louisiana Lottery. Your chance to win up to $100,000. Scratch the back for an extra game. Enter the second chance drawings for VIP suite experiences, a deluxe limo experience, a tunnel team experience, official autographed team merchandise, and the grand prize, a 2018 season ticket package. Play Saints Game On from the Louisiana Lottery for your chance to make this your winning season.
Welcome back for segment 3 of week 7 of the Roger Cador Show, brought to you in part by Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center with the entire campus over on Hennessy Street. You know, by the way, they are so very proud now of the opening of the new Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center Children's Hospital. And of course, we all know that there is nothing more precious nor a greater resource than our children. And a very special tip of the hat to Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center for understanding this and bringing this facility to Baton Rouge. Again, big time hugs to Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center, proud sponsors of the Roger Cador Show. Coach, we switch gears again, talk a little NFL. Dismal start for the Saints. Now, here it is, first place in the NFC South. Not a whole lot of folks saw this coming, did they?
Well, usually you don't. It's something. One thing, they stayed healthy, and that's important.
Right.
And now they're executing. Sometimes it's just take time. And I know we live in a society in a world that says want everything now, but
Instant
sometimes
gratification, Coach.
you have to wait.
Yeah.
In sports, it's by building unity and teamwork.
Of course, now, the season is not even at the midway point yet. So it's one thing to talk about, rah, 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 we're in first place in the NFC South, but it's something else to realize you're not even at the halfway point yet. What do you think is tougher from a team standpoint to not get them to believe their own hype? College athletes or professionals?
Well, professionals don't. It's a lot easier to work with them because they're pros.
Right.
And they understand that every week they've got to do their job or they could get cut.
Right.
That's the difference between college. You're not going to take a collegiate kid scholarship.
Right.
So they're up and down sometimes with their performance. But the biggest thing that in the pros is you can't have a key player go down.
Right.
When Aaron Rodgers went down with the Packers, they came back and lost.
Right.
They would have won the game easy with him. So you got to look at the whole thing. Key players have to play for teams to be successful.
Since bidding farewell to Adrian Peterson, the run game seems to have solidified. How much is there to be said for certainty and routine, where everyone knows what everyone's going to get and there's no guessing involved? How important is that?
I never liked the trade when they made it for Adrian Peterson, because the saying is not Saints on a run first team.
Right.
Those running backs like they got, and along with number 22 and that young guy, they find those guys who can do the job. They're 3 and 4 yard runners,
right,
and can catch swing pass out of the backfield. They do really good for the Saints offense.
So what is there to be said about knowing I don't have to worry about who they brought in, because at any moment I may be yanked, I may be replaced? But what's the downside of that? If one of them gets hurt, do you end up maybe saying, well, we might should have held on to this guy a little longer?
Well, I don't think in Peterson's case that would. The Saints are going to roll based upon those specialty players.
Right.
And that's the kind of specialty players. They need guys out of the backfield, 3 or 4 yard run.
4 of the last 5 times that the Saints started the season 4-0, they went to the playoffs. Do you want a team even thinking about playoffs at this point? And how tough is it to keep that out of their minds when it is a statistical fact? 4 of the last 5 times that you started, or that you had a 4-game win streak, you made the playoffs.
Well, that's good to know, but each teams are different. I just think that the main thing when I talk to professional athletes is that first they want to stay healthy,
right,
and then execution. That's their 2 main things. They know if they stay healthy, can execute, the rest will take care of itself. I don't think they look at stats in the same way a college athlete would.
Right, because after all, there's a paycheck involved on one end, none on the other.
Right.
When we come back, we're going to spend a little time talking about a great sports organization here in Baton Rouge. You're familiar with it, but maybe not the rebranding. Aaron Fulbright will have more when we come back with segment 4 of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Roger Cador. I'm here to tell you about Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa. You won't find them on billboards, but you'll find them in the courtroom where real lawyers are. You see, billboards do not solve cases. Real trial lawyers do. So if you're hurt and need a lawyer, call 225-223-6333.
Pod's moving in storage.
I need to clean out my study.
We'll deliver a container.
My brother-in-law's moving in.
Maybe he'll help you pack.
He's lazy.
We can refer some professionals.
It's just until he finds work.
We can keep things at our storage center for as long as it takes.
I am not happy about this.
Or you can keep your things on site for quick unloading.
Did you say freeloading?
I said unloading.
I heard freeloading.
I'm sure you did.
Store on site or let us drive your things to our secure storage center. Pods, moving and storage, solved.
Welcome back to segment 4 of this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. You know, we are so fortunate here in Baton Rouge with an organization that brings all sorts of sporting events to Baton Rouge. But they've rebranded themselves as of late, so the name may not ring a bell. Our special correspondent, Aaron Fulbright, is here with more on Sports BR. Aaron, take it away.
Sports is the thing that brings people together from various backgrounds, and it allows people to forget about the troubles of the world. The sports life here in BR has grown outside of our collegiate sports, and we've seen tournaments and races come to the city, and we have Sports BR to thank for that.
Sports BR was formerly known as the Baton Rouge Area Sports Foundation, but we rebranded earlier this year, and our newly written mission statement is Sports BR unites community and sports. So,
sports has been known to bring people together. It breaks down society barriers. That is why it is important to have organizations like Sports BR. The foundation, located in the office of Visit Baton Rouge, has been around since 1994 and has generated more than $30 million annually to the city of Baton Rouge.
We didn't have a lot of resources. We never really have. We've run on very, very few resources over the years. And then Baton Rouge Area Sports Foundation was always kind of a mouthful. And so we were thinking, hey, how do we tighten this up a little bit, make it very recognizable and very easy for people to understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so Sports BR just kind of came together. I don't know that one person is particularly responsible, but that was part of discussions with our board and with our other stakeholders and some people who've been very helpful to us over the years.
A small nonprofit organization that is working to bring community together through sports, and they plan to continue this effort by making Baton Rouge the amateur sports capital of the South. They have been a part of tournaments coming to the city recently, such as Pro Softball Tournament, Fast Pitch, and Youth Baseball Tournaments with Marucci, to name a few.
It's really about trying to find the events that fit our city best. So we understand that we're not going to be a New Orleans or Dallas or Houston. We're not getting any Super Bowls or Final Fours here, but what are the opportunities that we have to bring amateur sports events to Baton Rouge that can have very significant impact on our economy, and also bring people here that would have no other reason to come to Baton Rouge if not for these events. So
the organization has relied on its big sponsors to continue its work with bringing events to the capital city. Sponsors include Baton Rouge Clinic, Coca-Cola, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, Energy, Sigma, and Turner Industries, to name a few. They also have a board of directors that help carry out their mission. Our very own Roger Cador is on the board as well.
With being ambassadors for us in the community and telling our story and helping us meet our mission, helping us with fundraising, helping us with community relations, and creating contacts for us when we need them. But they've been incredibly supportive of what we're doing over the last 22 years. And they all have the great thing that Coach Stovall did when we created the organization was find people who were going to be stakeholders in what we were doing. And
as Sports BR continues to grow and bring sporting events to our community, they can also use the help of volunteers. Again, this is a time to connect the community together.
We always have volunteer opportunities pretty much year-round depending on what's going on. A lot of our runs and races require volunteers and volunteer support, but if people go to sportsbr.org, the top right corner is a little box that says Get Involved. You can click there and learn more about our annual fund, which we're raising money for our nonprofit organization now, and then there's always volunteer opportunities. So there's
I've participated in a few of the races here in Baton Rouge brought to us by Sports BR. I've also attended some tournaments, the Fast Pitch Pro, which is softball professionals, and the Marucci Youth Baseball Tournament that Sports BR was a part of. And I really saw the value in it and the tourism that it brought and just how people came together. So I'm excited to see how this organization continues to grow. And I'm also glad that Coach Cador is on the board of directors so that he can give his expertise and 2 cents and just really
uniting sports and community. Well, that pretty much says it all. Aaron, thank you. When we come back, we will wrap up week 7 of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Pause moving and storage.
We just sold our house.
Congratulations.
We have 2 weeks to move.
We'll deliver a few containers.
Our new home's not ready.
No problem. You can store things with us while you're between homes.
We might need help.
We'll refer trusted packers.
We'll be staying at my brother's.
Well, that sounds...
He has kids of his own.
Well...
5 of them.
Ma'am?
Help.
Trust us for local and long-distance moving and store at our storage centers. Pods, moving and storage, solved.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash, and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit Breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg, we just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Welcome back to the closing segment of this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Coach, right now, LSU winning, Southern winning, Saints winning. Pretty darn good time to be a football fan in South Louisiana.
Yeah, could we put Grambling in there? No, they ain't no Louisiana.
You're about to start something, Coach.
Yeah, boy, it's really good when teams are winning in the state. It makes the state, it gives them some measure of happiness and a sense of feeling good.
And of course, now, the minute one of them loses, we all seem to lose our minds, right?
Yeah, that's the way it is.
How do you think coaches view the fickleness that seems to permeate the various fan bases when it comes to football in South Louisiana?
Well, you know, they try not to put too much attention on it, but it's difficult because it just gets in the way of what you're trying to do. So hopefully things will work out where fans will learn to stay in their place and let coaches do their job.
You talk about the fickleness of fans. Are football fans the worst in that regard?
Well, they're all bad. They're all bad. They just have more in the stadium at the same time.
Yeah. Best advice that you would give a young person that's considering going into coaching, Roger?
Have tough skin. You can't worry too much about what you're hearing, the way people talk about you. Just remember they talk about Jesus Christ. He was perfect. So you better be prepared to hear negative things. But don't worry about that. It's the keys to help the young people, whoever you're working with.
Very special thank you once again to the great folks at the Shoppers Value in Baker. Outstanding, warm welcome, as you'll get at all Shoppers Values. So make it a point to go out. We encourage you to patronize the businesses that make what we do possible each and every week. Could not do it without them, nor could we do it without you. On behalf of the crew and the coach, I'm Clarence Buggs. We'll see you next week for Week 8 of the Roger Cador Show. Till then, go Jags.
There you go.